Hey everybody, it's Coin Snobz. I'm Keith.
And I'm Jason.
And this is our latest haul of customer wrapped rolls. So I kind of wanted to combine everything into one to show you guys the magnitude of what we go through to pull out the coins that we get for our content. So this is just over a full box of quarters. This is a box and a half of pennies, almost a half a box of nickels, and a half a box of dimes. So this is, and these are all customer wraps. These are all came from my branch. This is what we go through to make the content that we put on the channel. So anyway, so we're gonna go through all these, see what we find, and do a wrap up for you.
And here is that wrap up. As you can see, quite a bit of stuff. We almost ran out of room, honestly. Over here we got a whole bunch of 2009s on the left hand side. And we have a Bahamas penny. I think it's a penny, I'm not sure what it is, what denomination it is for the Bahamas, but it is a really awesome looking coin and it's in really good condition. Some 2017 Ps, the 2009, some Canadians, some of the wheat pennies we found, including a really nice red to red-brown 54S, I believe, S or D. Some mixes and matches of errors and things like that. Nice bicentennial. I mean, every 2009s, as again, of course, we keep the nice 2009s. If they're just too hammered out, we don't keep them, even though they're not in, or it's popular belief to keep pretty much every 2009, but if it's in bad enough shape, we don't keep it, to be honest. AU or better, we'll keep them. And there's some more mint states mixed through here. Here's some PGA membership tokens, Partners Club. Those are kind of cool. Those were actually found in penny rolls. Weird, but yeah, surprising. Yeah, but kind of cool. Not something that I think everybody has found in a penny roll. A few of the dimes, some more wheat pennies. I mean, everything's all over the place, of course, because both me and Keith were doing this. I think we were going through rolls for over 14 hours, I believe. We just kind of did a marathon to see how long it would take us to go through all those customer rolls, and of course takes us a little bit longer because we look at everything. I believe that is a spitting horse, not positive though, we'll check that out under the scope. Canadian dimes, not a lot of dimes as usual, but we don't usually find a whole bunch of dimes. Pretty nice nickel, mint state condition, it's an old guy. I think it's a 49, but we'll take a look at that. Some more wheat pennies mixed in through here. And Canadian nickel, Canadian quarter. Really nice 1981 mint state. I think it's got a fingerprint on it, but it's alright, whatever. And of course the nickels, as far as those go, we keep anything 1959 and back. So I've got some older nickels. Again, some decent looking bicentennial quarters. And some of these are going to have errors on them, of course, you know, like die cracks, struck through, the usual stuff. All that fun. Really nicely toned Arizona quarter. And just some more nice looking quarters. 2009 in good condition, 2009. Some more good looking newer mint state or national park quarters. Of course, we've got the usual Alaska extra claw quarters. I'm sure that's another one there. Some more 2009s. 95 probably has a die crack. Nice 2009. Nice 2009. More in the Pacific. And these that are reverse side up, chances are those have an error. Usually, again, it's a die cracker struck through grease, something like that. Uh-oh, what's that? I believe that's a W mint mark. I think we found one or two. Of course, as you can see, it's been circulating for a little bit, but it's there. More decent mint state quarters, 2009s. Yep, all that fun stuff. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to go through and scope all these guys to see if what we thought we saw was actually there. And of course, we'll look at the 2009s for errors and things like that. And we'll go through the wheat pennies for double dies and repunchment marks and stuff. But anyways, next up, we will throw some of the better ones under the scope. Alright, first things first, we've got this 1952 Denver. Not in super great condition, but I thought it was kind of cool that we found a wheat penny that was in red-brown shape. So I thought I would show that to you guys real quick. I mean, you know, if you find about 100 of these wheat pennies in circulating rolls, it seems like maybe one will have a little bit of this mint luster left on it. But this one's got a pretty decent amount. It's not one of the more common dates, like a 57D or a 58D or 57 plain or 56 or blah blah blah. 52D, still fairly common, but it's red-brown, so it was kind of cool we found that in a roll. And speaking of common wheat pennies, here's a 57D, which we find a ton of these. But I wanted to ask you guys about this right here. If you look to the right of the 7, that really looks like doubling. And it doesn't even look like strike doubling to me. I mean, I suppose it could be damage that's just, you know, in the perfect alignment with this bottom of the 7, so it looks like a double die. But it looks an awful lot like a double die to me. It doesn't look like strike doubling. It's kind of tall. It's a little bit split up here. A little bit split down here, although it looks like it's been kind of smushed right there. But I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. It's weird. It looks like it might be a double die. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that one a little bit more. And of course, there's a little bit of a die chip right there filling the 5, which isn't all that uncommon. But just wanted to see what you guys thought about that 7. It's kind of weird. And speaking of how common it is to find a die chip in that 5, especially on 57 Denvers, there's another one right there with a really nasty gash right there. Looks like it's pretty old damage actually, but damage nonetheless, that is for sure. This one also has a die chip in the B, or aka a filled B in Liberty. But other than that, of course, just a good old 57 Denver. And here's another odd one, 1971 San Francisco, but I believe that is strike doubling. That looks like strike doubling to me. It's, you know, it's very shelf-like, nothing's really split. It's especially noticeable here in the mint mark. See if I can get a good angle on it with the light. But yeah, looks kind of weird. I'm going to say that's probably strike doubling, though. I doubt it's a repunchment mark. And of course, we've got evidence up here of what appears to be strike doubling. But I'll look into that a little bit further. It is kind of strange, though, because it almost looks like there's a die crack coming off of this right here, like starting at, I guess, the strike doubling from the 7. But it looks like it goes all the way through over to here. I don't know, kind of weird. There is a little bit of a die crack right here in Lincoln's bow tie. So that leads me to believe that it probably is an older die state. Although it looks like a pretty decent strike. It doesn't look like so much like an older die state, but I mean it could be. And this could be metal flow, but I don't think so because of the way it's going. I mean it's definitely going from 12 o'clock to about the 6 o'clock starting at these digits in this mint mark. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be strike doubling. And it's always cool to find these older nickels. Pretty meh looking. Not such a pretty nickel. But I wanted to bring this one to your attention though because it looks like it has a little bit of a die chip or some sort of die damage that's been struck into the top of Monticello right here. And then there's definitely something right here. This looks like probably a pretty nasty die crack that may have gotten worn down over time. I mean, obviously this coin's been quite well circulated, but I would say that's some sort of a die chip or die damage, and then that probably some sort of a die crack. Maybe die damage again, but kind of hard to tell. But again, it's an anomaly, so it's cool. And then we come to a really nice older nickel. 1949. Older die state, for sure, but I'd say this is at least a high AU condition. This is a pretty good looking nickel. Not a very good strike again, but good looking nickel. Take a look at that mint mark. Mint mark is a little bit suspect, so I'm gonna go ahead and look into that a little bit further. I mean, it's kind of shelf-like, so it looks like it's almost like strike doubling, but it also looks like it's an inverted mint mark. Kind of hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure that is an inverted mint mark. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that one a little bit more. I'll do some more research on that guy, but overall the nickel's in pretty nice shape. I mean, it's a 1949, so you know, you're looking at a 71-year-old nickel. Not too shabby at all. Yeah, there's a little bit of strike doubling down here, so I have a feeling that that mint mark is probably a victim of strike doubling. Yeah, there's a little bit up here as well, but it still looks inverted. Anyways, onward we go. 2017 Philadelphia dime. Again, being out here on the West Coast, we don't find a lot of Philadelphia coins until people start bringing them over here from other regions. Not a very good condition coin. Definitely has some damage. Definitely been handled with other coins and other who knows what. But we definitely wanted to keep this one because we've got some die cracks down here coming off the bottom of the branch and off the right side of the torch. Also, there's a little bit of a die chip right here in the bottom band of the torch. And then up top here is a whole bunch of die chips. Right here off of the olive leaf, that's definitely a giant chunk of a die chip. That one as well. And then there's some on the very bottom here of, well, I guess the base of the flame, top of the torch. But yeah, definitely quite a few die chips. It's like there's also some over here on this branch. And maybe a little bit right here and right here. So yeah, whole bunches of die chips on the reverse. 1995 Denver quarter. Average circulated condition. However, if we look right up here to the top of the Eagle's left wing, or right from our standpoint, there's a pretty good sized die chip. Is it the die chip or metal flow? But because of it's kind of got a round shape, I would say it's definitely a die chip. Typically, this wing ends right about here, but if you look right around in this area right here, you can see where it goes all the way a little bit past the A, actually touches the bottom of the M. So that is definitely a little bit of a die chip right there. Very cool. 1995 Philadelphia with an aggressive die crack on the reverse. Going down here below his ponytail all the way to the rim. And then that should be it on, oh no, I'm sorry, found another one right there between the E and the R. I knew there was another one on here. Maybe a little bit here through the Y going to the rim. Okay. And then the reverse is just insane with die cracks. Die crack coming off the bottom of the Eagle's head, going all the way through the wing. You can see it really distinctly right there below the A, between the A and the wing, all the way to the rim. And then, I mean, we really got to take our time with this sucker because there's die cracks kind of strewn about. Coming off the bottom of the wing right there, going all the way to the rim again. And I believe there's at least one more. Yep, right here, coming off the bottom of the branch, going all the way through the O in dollar, all the way to the rim. And then I think that's it. But I bet if we stared at this thing long enough, we'd probably find more die cracks, because this sucker is just littered with them, which, you know, I mean, we find, as you guys know, we find die cracks quite a bit, but to find this many or some that are this distinct, especially this one right here on the obverse, is really awesome and kind of rare. So that one's going to go into a 2x2. Love it. Turns out that 99 Philadelphia, Delaware was in fact a spitting horse, as you can see right there. Again, it's kind of hard to get the light right on these things, but you can definitely see that this is a spitting horse. And this, I think, is the 4th or 5th one that we've found coin roll hunting. So, yep, technically a die crack going from the horse's mouth to the A, but hey, we're alright. Take that. 1996 Philadelphia with another aggressive die crack coming off the bottom of the bust there. Yeah, and typically we usually find them coming off of here, maybe sometimes on this side over here on quarters, but typically it's the very front of the bust that we find die cracks. But that one, that sucker's aggressive. Extra claw! Extra claw again with bonus goobers. 2008 Philadelphia, Arizona State Quarter with the die chip below the cactus there that looks like an extra rock, or maybe like this rock is just extra big. And this one's kind of easy to find. Actually, we found quite a few of these, but right here should be the designer's initials, and as you can see, the die chip obscures those designer's initials a little bit, so pretty easy pickup point for this quarter. This one is not a, well, I mean, it's not bad for being a 2008. I mean, that was already 12 years ago, so if this thing's been circulating since then, honestly, considering it's not in that bad a condition. 1981 Denver, in really nice condition. I mean, it's not the bestest strike in the whole wide world, of course. This time period, the strikes weren't that good. Plus, the dies weren't quite as detailed yet. They did do some die revisions. But, I mean, we found that in customer rolls, so I mean, come on. Why wouldn't you want to keep that? Sure, it's not a super valuable coin. Sure, it's not going to get a super high grade. But, again, I think we would just feel terrible about putting something that looks this good, especially for its age, back into circulation so it gets messed up. Alright, and then of course we have this little fella right here. Unfortunately, he's been circulating for a little while, so he's not very pretty. He's definitely been spent. Got a little bit of damage, got some scuff marks on him. But it's W, so again, we can't just throw it back. We would never throw it back. I mean, American Memorial Park, we have quite a few American Memorial Park West Point quarters. We don't have any of the latest 2019 ones. Oh, what were they? River of No Return. We don't have any of those in W. We're still looking for those bad boys. So if anybody out there would like to trade and need some American Memorial Parks, or would like some American Memorial Parks, we have those. Just go ahead and give us a comment or an email down at the bottom, and we can set up that trade to try to get everybody's collection complete. But yeah, not very pretty at all, unfortunately. However, this one is a little bit better. Another American Memorial Park, because it seems like that's all we find. This one has been, of course, circulated as well, because we just found it recently. But not as bad as the last one. I mean, it's got some fingerprints on it and, you know, stuff like that. But that almost looks like crimper damage, but I don't think it is. I think that's from the rim of another coin, because it's at a weird angle. But, yeah, I mean, come on, West Point. And, of course, American Memorial Park, per the usual. But, anyways, guys, that's super awesome ones that I have to show you under the scope. Thank you, everybody, again, for getting us over 400 friends, which is super, super freaking awesome. Going to be having the giveaway this week, so go ahead and watch out for that. In fact, it might actually be posted before this video. All you got to do with that, of course, is just comment, make sure you're a public subscriber, and we will use the random comment picker for that. And if you would like to support the channel in other ways, of course, we have the P.O. box down there at the bottom in the description, where you can send channel stickers and all that fun stuff. If we get channel stickers, I will, of course, do a trade with you. I'll send you guys some as well, so that we can keep the sticker trades going on. Do have a Patreon, just haven't figured out exactly what kind of, neat and original content to put on there. So if you guys have any suggestions for that, go ahead and please leave that in the comments down below. Just let us know, what you think would be worth buying a subscription to Coin Snobz, and what kind of super awesome, content you would like to see on Patreon. And of course, we have PayPal and all that stuff. And I'm going to be adding some more stuff to our eBay sometime this week, maybe into the next week. But yeah, guys, that's it for now. Make sure you guys get your comments into the comment video for our 400 Friends giveaway. And as usual, God bless, love you all, and we will see you very soon.